Patrick Harvie will not be contesting the election. He's standing down. His co-leader just now, Lorna Slater, there seems to be a lot of briefing against her, which is basically saying, please don't stand again. And reading between the lines, I think that there is certainly a bit of momentum for the MSP's Ross Greer and Gillian MacKay. How do you see it going?
I think I'd agree with that assessment. I'd be quite surprised if Gillian and Ross don't launch a bid. Certainly, I'd be very surprised if Ross Greer doesn't launch a bid to become one of the co-leaders. And yeah, I mean, Lorna Slater, her reputation has been through the mill a bit, hasn't it? What with the bottle return scheme and other things, I think and from what you hear talking to people in the Green Party, she's not particularly popular either with the wider membership, and there's not that many of them, and so they do have actually, for the size of the party, it's quite there is a lot of them, and they've got a quite considerable voice, I think, within the Green Party. And so, yeah, I think my money at the moment would be on certainly Ross Greer and probably Gillian becoming co-leaders.
Yeah, I mean, the briefing seems to be, it would be embarrassing for a co-leader to stand again and lose. Therefore, she should not stand again because she's likely to lose. So, I mean, we focus a lot on splits and rows in the SNP, Labour, the Tories, but it seems to be the case as well for the Scottish Green Party.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ross Greer's clearly had his eyes on the leadership for a long time. When the Greens were in government with the SNP, he seemed to, I think he used to have more meetings with ministers than Harvie and Slater did. He's kind of been this sort of
player,
de facto leader of the party for a long time, I think. I think he's nailed on. It'll be Greer in the hot seat next time.
One thing I'd say about the Scottish Greens is that although they were in government for a short period, just speaking to senior Greens, they're pretty scathing about the state of their own party that's been left behind by Patrick Harvie and Lorna Slater. Just in terms of the internal structures, it does seem to be a very amateur organisation. You know, if you brought in experts to look at how it was run, I think they would be pretty scathing about it. I mean, there was that story last year, remember or maybe it was this year, I can't remember, that I think their conference nearly had to be suspended. They couldn't get the agenda approved. And it feels like a political party that is in desperate need of modernisation, sort of dragging it into the 21st century, because right now I'm just not convinced it's fit for purpose.
I mean, it's a odd comparison, but I guess a little bit like Reform, and the Greens are being forecast to win quite a few seats, but yeah, it's odd that you do seem to have that lack of organisation and cohesion in the wider party. You kind of wouldn't expect the Greens to be, for there to be all this infighting behind the scenes, but it does appear that's the case. One interesting thing would be if Ross were to be one of the leaders. He actually in the past had a very good relationship with John Swinney, so it would be quite interesting to see how that...
Well, not always. I mean, it's improved over the years, but certainly back in the day...
I think at the beginning, John Swinney was almost a bit of a mentor to Ross. Like, maybe this goes way back to the referendum campaign and all of that.
It was interesting. Swinney refused to rule out another coalition